Hello, my name's Marilyn Griffiths.
I'm Catherine Brown.
I'm Connie Telford. I'm the technician here on the Architectural Glass course.
My name's Rachel Phillips.
My name's Lisa Burkle. I'm Programme Director for the Architectural Arts in Glass.
Do you think it's affected the students then, having this made in the department?
Definitely influenced their work. You can see it in some of their projects.
But even as well, I've seen their interest in watching us deal with it. I've been involved in this project right from the start, from when we were taken up on top of the roof in our hard hats, and we did lots of gargoyle poses in the windows.
And I was involved with going up to the tower and taking measurements.
My role in the project, well, it came later because the design was more or less finished and decided on by the time I became involved in it.
I was project managing sort of the creative side.
We felt like we needed someone to oversee it all, and we were all really happy for her to project manage it. She's had experience in large-scale commissions before, and so she just seemed the right person for the job.
The Beacon project was to design and make a new glass artwork for the tower room in Alex Design Exchange, which is the building that stained glass and glass education has been in for over 80 years. And now the building's been renovated, and as sort of a celebration, and a part of that renovation was to make a new substantial artwork for the building.
First of all, when we sat down and thought about what we were going to design, we were up on the hill because we were out to the department for a year, and when you looked down you could see the building and you could see the tower where the windows were going to be, and it struck us, it was like a crown.
So in terms of the concept of the design, it was a lot of thoughts about, you know, the position of the tower, and it can be seen from all around Swansea. So we did want it to be a statement about the university as a whole, but also what is now the School of Design and Applied Arts.
But also we were really keen on saying something about how we wanted the glass course to move in the future, so it was really important that there was contemporary techniques in it, but also taken from our training, you know, in traditional stained glass, taking some of those elements.
Celebration of the history of the education here, and kind of what we value. And what we value is the material of glass, but also ongoing innovation and ongoing practice. So the struggles were about communicating enough at the right time, and keeping things, I suppose, lightly enough in the design stage so that you allowed every person to have a voice.
We brought ideas, we had weekly meetings where we'd bring ideas. What I found really wonderful was to see somebody challenging your way of thinking, challenging your thoughts, and make you think, okay, well maybe I should look at it in another way, and it sort of opens your mind a bit more.
You know, you've all got your own little inputs, and sometimes it can get quite a tension in the room, you know, but you work through it.
We did have discussions, you know, sometimes heated discussions and passionate discussions, but there was always respect there, you know, for each other's experiences. And so always at the end of those discussions, you know, it felt worthwhile.
Those discussions, I think, were so valuable because they not only solve a problem, but they also feed you with new ideas and different ways of looking at things. So I will always treasure those.
One of the struggles was to keep everything going and making sure other bits were being done. So that's a strength and a weakness. It depends how well it goes. And in this, everyone's kind of carried their part of the project well, I think. Yeah. The exciting things about the project was that it was to be a celebration of skills of stained glass that are very old and established, but also new technologies. So there was a whole range of techniques, and then also bonding technologies onto large sheets of backing glass so they could be hung like tapestries.
Also, we wanted to have a nod at the students that had gone before, sort of the bloodline.
We wanted to kind of highlight the continuum and also change of the course, and we asked for people to send in symbols to represent themselves in the design, and wanted to incorporate those. Because I think every person who's passed through this place has added to the life of the course and the building and a part of its history. and part of its future. So we wanted to incorporate that. That was a really crucial thing.
When I joined, the design was pretty much set, or they had quite strong ideas about having this bloodline section through, which symbolised the history of Swansea Glass and the future of Swansea Glass. And the idea was then that within this bloodline, this red line that runs through the whole of the 12 panels, that would be water jet cut with these piercings. And originally the piercings were going to be little symbols and things, and then it was quite a static grid, which Rachel wasn't particularly happy with.
It wasn't all set when it came to the making. It was an interpretation of a design on paper.
One of my inputs then was to sort of start to rejig that gridding system and make it a bit more organic.
The ideas are great, when it starts and oh yes, enthusiasm, that's great, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then the problems start. So we had to try and find out a way how we were going to put this window up in the tower space.
There were lots of discussions that the team had about fitting and sort of the weight of the glass.
So all these ideas came around, well, let's just put it inside the double glazed unit. But there was problems with that, with guarantees and trouble with the mechanisms for the windows opening. So we came up then with the idea of, well, we'll fix in front of the windows. So we came up with all these proposals, and every one of them was kind of shot down. Well, not shot down, but there was a reason why we couldn't do it, And then we had this metal structure that suddenly appeared to keep the tower in place, which really threw the design ideas. So then we just came up with the idea, well, let's just have it hanging in front, like a free thing floating. Oh, hanging glass, hold on, how are we going to do that? Is that going to be safe? And then when you start to measure the glass and you realise how big and how thick, this is like 10 mil glass, then of course, once that was decided, it threw the girls' sort of original ideas out for their designs.
Then there was issues with, these kind of spaces, the clear spaces between the coloured sections, and the quickest and the easiest and most efficient way of using that within the design, but still making the design look, cohesive. So, there was lots of discussions that were going on throughout the project, not just in the kind of the paper stage of design, if you like.
So there's things happened along the way, sort of little hiccups, things that have been imposed on us, building regulations and things like that, which made us have to steer not just the design, but then the actual fabrication as well. So we go, right, well, we can't do that now. What can we do? But working in the team as we did felt a very safe atmosphere. It felt safe doing it with the others because you could blame them. No.
The experience that stayed with me was watching Colin cut those huge pieces of white glass that were hundreds of pounds worth of glass, sometimes this thick, sometimes that thin, and just knowing how difficult that is to do and the pressure.
We didn't have any extra glass. That's the kind of pressure that, you think, well, if I mark this cut up, how am I going to explain to someone we need a couple of more sheets of antique glass?
When somebody asks you to take something on board and go, well, you're representing the team. It's like being in the Olympics. I'm representing the team today now, so you're really aware that you want to do a good job.
I think it was an amazing experience to be part of that and to appreciate each other's skills and knowledge that perhaps we didn't realise that quite how extensive that knowledge was as well.
The next step to this will be each of us to make a piece of work in response to this project that we've worked on, and then look at working in collaboration with one other, and then maybe as teams, and produce a body of work from that, and maybe into more research on collaborative practice.
It's given me another look on my own work as well, on the way I work. So we've been talking now, about we must carry on working together. Let's have an exhibition together or something. So it has revitalised me, I'd say. Yeah, definitely.
But also, I want it to be, a joyful, celebratory work that people can see from all around Swansea and know that the college is there.
It's also for us about keeping those traditional skills that are slowly fading, you know, in other universities and colleges and things, as well as trying to be innovative and keep, you know, the sort of contemporary work going at the same time. So it's those two pathways that we feel are our aims. I'm really excited to see it up, the whole thing. I mean, you can see some of it is partly fixed now, but it's covered with scaffolding, so you can't really see the full extent. I think the true time that we'll really enjoy it is when it's all finished and it's on an amazing sunny day, and we'll see that how the light comes through and how it throws the colour onto the walls and, you know, makes that amazing atmosphere that we're all hoping it will.
You know, to where the sun comes up, how it moves around the building, and it will throw light all through the building. And then at night when it's lit, you know, how you see it around the city will be great to actually experience after all the planning of what it's going to be like.